something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere.
It's not a matter of time, sure as the blaze in your eyes. I sense a subtle shift, instincts I can't resist, weary of wolves in disguise. Drunk on a gallon of wine, red as the rivers you cried. Bad apples spoil the punch, bruises and rotten fronts. You've got a thirst you can't hide.
There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere.
Might be a fault of design, a bark as bad as its bite. Fooled by a flash of teeth, sharp tongues that lie beneath, words that could eat you alive.
There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. Victims surrounded, never did but what we feel. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. There's something in the water. There's something in the air. The proof is all around us. The symptoms are everywhere. The symptoms are everywhere. Victims surrounded, never did but what we feel. Symptoms are everywhere.
I don't envy our salvation, I don't envy our success. I've been cast with all the power, but I don't smile like the rest. I don't wanna live forever, I don't wanna die today. But I was born into this strange skin, and I don't know another way. today and no tomorrow. Not for joy and not for sorrow. Curse the needful, years to follow. Mad at him, mad at him. No today and no tomorrow. Not for joy and not for sorrow. Curse the needful, years to follow. Mad at him, mad at him. Send your thanks and send your blame. To all who give and take away. Send your thanks and send your blame. To all who give and take away. No today and no tomorrow. Not for joy and not for sorrow. Curse the needful, years to follow. Mad at him, mad at him. No today and no tomorrow. Not for joy and not for sorrow. Curse the needful, years to follow. Mad at him, mad at him. No today and no tomorrow. Not for joy and not for sorrow. Curse the needful, years to follow. Mad at him, mad at him.
Hello, happy Thursday. Welcome to the Creative Chaos Show, a show dedicated to shining a spotlight on fascinating people creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. And why do I care so much? Because the mainstream is crap, but I'm not going to complain about it anymore. I'm just going to turn my attention towards those people that are out there grinding away, creating independent comics, movies, music, all that kind of good stuff. Speaking of music, our opening house band tonight was Black Light District Studios, and that is Jesse Blade Snyder's music project that he did a while back to accompany some of the comic books that he was creating. And I like that he's done music videos with like comic art and all that kind of stuff. So I did see in chat Omer questioning whether it was AI art or not. No, it's hand drawn illustration by a comic book creator, Jesse Blaze Snyder, who happens to be the son of D. Snyder. So that's pretty cool in itself. And I was reminded of him because I happened to be kind of browsing who was on live on YouTube yesterday and saw that he was live, and he's a really great host of his show. If you're not already, go check out the Blacklight District Studio YouTube. The link is down in the description under the house band, so go over and give Jesse a follow. I know he's been doing some podcasting for a little bit but doesn't have a ton of views on YouTube, so go give him a follow. All right. And I saw you guys, I'm like kind of pleased at how many people are coming in and finally lighting up the chat and saying what's up. I saw that we had Vulcan lives, our wonderful mod popping in number one. Pixel Trader, who by the way, Pixel, your co-creators don't know if you're coming or not. I don't know either. I did say we should needle you in the chat saying you should at least pop in at some point. And if you only have like 5-10 minutes to spare, maybe near the end of the show, which will be in about an hour 15 hour 20 minutes. So if you're still out there, we'd love to see you and hear you. Aaron Moriarty checking in over on the Rumble. We do get a chat on Rumble. And then also our wonderful friend Ben, all the way from the land down under, saying good morning, Christy, and hail Vulcan. And wishing Ben, you're my friend. You're the best old Ben there's ever been. Never been a Ben like Ben. Love you, Ben. All right. And then Madness Entertainment Group, which was actually me hailing Ben Sullivan. Carrie, what is up, girl? I'm looking forward to some sassy chat tonight. Grey Wolf checking in, probably over there on the Madness stream. Omar, I already said what's up to you. And a new name I don't recognize. The Modern Creationist saying, I'm here for the mermaid puss. Hmm. I don't know me. I'm assuming you mean like she's making a puss. Because the show isn't dirty. Michael Ferraro checking in as well, saying, "Hail, Christy, hail, Team Mercmaid, hail the friggin' chat." What's up, Michael? Good to see you tonight, and we've got a great show for you. I feel like the panel we're having tonight, they're kind of popular people, especially when you look at their campaigns. And I just heard the Mercmaid has hit over 500 backers between Fund My Comic and the current campaign. So, woo, good for them. But we're not quite ready to get to them. I do want to bring in my co host, the Batman. Hi, the Batman.
Hi, hi, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. It was a busy day today, just trying to get stuff done and had to take care of some things, but it's
You
done
know,
now. And then I got to sit and watch a crazy ass movie with Madness Comic Network's Dustin Yoke from Thunder Geeks and
that's right.
Ghost
So,
Pepper.
for anybody that's interested, there is a movie show that runs about 2 hours before Creative Chaos starts, and they always rate us on pill.net after the movie is over. So, go check that out sometime. If you have some free time before Creative Chaos, go check out the movie. But you didn't like it.
Yeah, they're on a theme this week till Zombie gets back. He's stuck somewhere. I don't know the backstory to Zombie, but apparently he had to go somewhere and he got stuck there, and he's trying to get back to his place so he can go back to streaming again. But they've got 13 as the theme. So any movies that have 13 in the title is what they're aiming for. So this one movie they watched tonight was 13, and it was a very bizarre flick with a really good cast, um, but the ending sucked, and the movie itself wasn't that good. It was just like you couldn't turn away from it. It was like looking at a very grotesque automobile accident, like, and you just couldn't look away. But it was grotesque. I mean, that's kind of what this movie was.
Okay. And Omar's saying he thinks Ice got him. The guy that's missing. That's
Oh,
really It's interesting that you bring up the number 13 because that there is something to do with the project we're talking about tonight that has to do with the number 13, but we'll wait until we bring the guests in because I don't know exactly how to explain it. So we'll do
we'll,
that. But
we'll let them do that.
we really, really have to get to the reason we do Creative Chaos, besides shining the spotlight, of course. But it wouldn't exist without Flip City Magazine. And we have so much freaking stuff going on right now. I'm going to basically touch on everything. First off, before we get to the campaign, I just wanted to let everybody know we got volume 24 in our hands and we'll be fulfilling probably tomorrow. If not, they're going to be at the post. We'll package everything up and have it ready to go on Monday morning to the UPS. But I just wanted everybody to know if you have a regular subscription or backed our Volume 24 campaign, it does come in a plain brown paper envelope. So the mail person doesn't get upset that you've got, the hottest, sassiest comic satire. They're just going to think it's dumb old regular porn. And when you open it up, you are going to get volume 24. And there is the lovely cover because Taylor Swift has to be on the cover of every single freaking mainstream magazine. So why not put her on the cover of a independent magazine as well? All right, so there's that. Number 2, Flip City Magazine has a crowdfunder right now for volume 25. It is exclusively over on Fund My Comic. You can get there by going to fundmycomic.com/flipcity25. And cause if we could just bring it up so I can show everybody where we're at. There we are. So we're currently at 20 backers. We've been campaigning for 13 days and only 20 backers. Come on, you guys. Who doesn't like to laugh, especially at the, bullshit that we're put through as a society? I guarantee if you're not a filthy commie, you're going to love and laugh at Flip City Magazine. I want to scroll down real quick. We're not really going to scroll the campaign, but this is going to segue perfectly into the next thing I've got to show you. Down here at the bottom, we see Brie cut the cheese Larson. This was part of our Madness live draw stream collaboration, where the theme, and we've been talking about it on Creative Chaos a lot. The theme was basically a magic mirror reflects back the true essence of a celebrity. Anybody that is a regular viewer has seen all of the submissions, you went and voted, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to let you guys know, because I neglected my duty last week. Q Q from the draw stream was the winner of the contest. And so I am announcing it now, and we do have a certificate for him. The thing is, with Q, I've never seen his face. You only see his hand and what he's drawing. So that's what you see in the upper left hand corner are Q's hands. And the certificate says, "This certificate is hereby awarded to Quentin White in recognition of his ability to motivate the entire Netherlands and a research station in the Antarctica to vote for his art in the Flip City is Madness contest because he wanted to win for Levi Skeen." It is true. And he also has no face. So congratulations, Quentin. You were the winner. You know it. You donated your ad to Levi Skeen, and we have that, and that will be running in volume 25. And final thing is, day after tomorrow is a new theme for the new draw stream collaboration. Everybody's invited. If you want information and you want to come have a good time with Flip City this Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, come hang out with us, find out what the theme is, and learn about the contest. Anybody that participates has a chance of getting a quarter page ad run in volume 26 of Flip City. That's a lot. We're so busy.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's not.
Yeah, there is. They need to like,
Oh, yeah.
subscribe, share, and ring that bell.
I forgot. We need to actually promote the stream.
And if you're on pill.net, hit that red pill and show us a little bit of love.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for being here and remembering those things for me, Batman. I appreciate you.
You're welcome, boss lady. That's why you hired me.
Well, yes, it's why you get paid as much as I do. All right. All right. Let's get on to the show because I'm super excited to have these people here tonight. And you guys, it's not just one guest. We have two with the possibility of a third. I don't know. I already needled Pixel Trader to see if he might pop in at some time, but I'm more than pleased to have two people. Oh my gosh, I don't even have my notes up. From Team Mercmaid. And I'm going to read them in here and then we're going to watch the trailer. So the Team Mercmaid includes illustrator Eric Hodson and writer co-creator Piper Steed. And like I said, maybe Pixel Trader at some point. Their project Ariel, you guys are going to have to teach me how to say this. The Little Mercmaid, successfully funded last year on my favorite platform, Fund My Comic, and now they're running a second chance campaign over on Kickstarter that's doing pretty good already. So let's watch the trailer and then we'll meet Eric and Piper on the other side.
Let's go, Stabby. Pain's coming for every poor, unfortunate soul in our way.
Hello! Welcome welcome to Creative Chaos, you guys. If if that trailer doesn't make you want to run out and back it right now, I don't know if these two are going to sell you. But I don't know you guys yet, so hi,
How's it
Well,
Eric.
going?
all I
Thanks
got
for having us.
You're very welcome. And looks like Piper, you've got some stimps in the chat already.
Yeah, which is cool because I'm usually the forgotten member of Team Mercmaid.
It's what I've heard.
But wait, I
See,
have to add, she is the cutest.
Aw. Right? How does everybody forget that I'm on this?
like I agree, and that was something that I had, I learned that because Pixel was kind enough to set up a group chat between the four of us, so that was really cool. But I do want to highlight uh, Omer's comment that says AR13L is how it's technically said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally biffed that.
It's basically the name of a gun type.
It makes sense. It makes sense now because, all that art, she's got all kinds of heavy weaponry.
Yeah, it's left over from the original meme post that started everything. So we kept it in there and came up for a reason why it's not her name.
Yeah, and see, now that's the thing. I've known this project has existed ever since it's been on Fund My Comic, but haven't really looked into the lore that much. I mean, there's so much to do in a day, but that's kind of how I understood it. But I'd love to hear from you guys an abbreviated version, if it's a long story, or the full
It's actually
story.
pretty short.
Cool. Tell me the short story.
Well, I think me and Eric saw it at the same time and hit him up at the same time. So Pixel, in response to the live action Little Mermaid, being advertised at the time, like a trailer had just dropped or announcement just dropped, I think, um, had made a spoof image that was, a fake comic cover, um, with her on it, and it said, things are much deader down where it's wetter, and he did it as a tongue in cheek, haha, this is the Little Mermaid we really want and stuff like that. And I saw it and I was like, dude, I already have a story like that would explain this.
Yeah.
And I hit
I
him up
basically told
fast.
him, I'm drawing this for you. It doesn't matter. We're doing it.
Yeah, and when I said like I can't draw, but I have a story for this, and he was like, "Well, Eric basically hit me up at the same time, so we already have an artist too. So apparently we are making this book." And the comments on the original meme was tons of uh please tell me this is real and stuff like that, and this needs to be real if it's not. So we say the internet willed it. Um, it was fate.
Yeah, pretty much just this whole thing came together just pretty easily, and we all get along just fine. It was pretty easy to come up with ideas for a story. We had to throw out a whole lot of stuff because once you start riffing on this and come up with not just the puns, but like actual story elements, because there is a really good heartfelt story that Piper's penned here, and there's we got material for more books too. So we're grateful for all the support. Um, I know, as Piper told you, it was a kind of a shit post, that Pixel Mike, because he was really mad because he's got a huge Little Mermaid collection at home, and it just really offended him. So he had to do something.
I'm sorry, who has the huge Little Mermaid collection?
Yeah, Pixel Trader does. He's a
Oh, okay.
big, big Disney adult with that stuff.
That's funny.
I don't know if
Wait,
that's actually true or not. I just always tell that story when he doesn't show up for a live stream.
Oh,
well, yeah, well, that's the thing. Didn't I hear that he's at Disney World or something right now by
He was
Yeah,
on
himself?
vacation. He's
that was
home
his
now.
reason last week, I think,
Yeah.
of why he wasn't on the streams.
All right. Fantastic. And I do want to talk of course, I have you on to talk about the project and get into a little more detail of how all this happened. But one of our favorite ways we've made a segment to get to know our guests. It's actually hosted by the wonderful Batman here, and we're going to get into fanboy for us, and we're going to fanboy real quick here, get to know you guys real quick. And when on the other side of the stinger, Bruce will tell you how it works.
Sorry, guys, I had to grab a sip of my tea here. I'm drinking out of my mustachio mug tonight.
Good
All
idea.
right. So, fanboy for us, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. And we don't want you to really think about it so much as we want you to just give us the answer off the top of your head, because that kind of gives us an idea as to who you are and what you're about. So, fanboying for us, we're going to ask you individually. We're going to start with the lovely Piper first, ladies first, of course. And then, Eric, I want you to answer right after her. So, first question, your favorite movie.
Oh my god, these are too hard.
Don't say The Mermaid, okay?
I can't say The Mermaid. That was my first
Can't say
favorite
The Mermaid.
movie
Worst
when I was
favorite,
little.
okay.
It was my first ever favorite movie. First movie I ever saw in theater.
Oh, wow. Okay, that just gave me your age. Go ahead, next.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, oh, Piper's dated.
Oops.
Walt Disney's The Black Hole.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very good. All right. All right. Now, your favorite artist, any genre, anything, it doesn't matter. Could be a painter, or, ceramic sculpting, or comics, or whatever. Favorite artist.
Golden Wolf. Also Frank Cho.
One more time.
I said also Frank Cho.
Okay. Fred Cho. Got it. All right. I'm sorry?
She gave you a puss. I think you did not say the name correctly, Bruce.
Repeat it, please, Piper.
Frank Cho.
Frank Cho. I apologize. Frank Cho. What did I say?
Fred?
I called him Fred. I have a habit of doing that. I have a habit of naming people different names, so I haven't come up with a nickname yet for Piper or Eric, but we'll think of something. Eric, your favorite artist, any
I
genre.
don't know. Fred Cho's pretty good. In comics, you can't go wrong with somebody like Bob Layton or Dan Panosian. Panosian's a recent acquiree of mine. I love his stuff, and met him last week at Motor City Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
I'm a huge fanboy for Bob Layton. I got a piece that he did up here, my 26th birthday, of Magnus Robot Fighter fighting Iron Man that I'm pretty proud of.
Nice. That sounds like an interesting piece. Very cool. All right, who's fetus berry crunch?
What?
Fetus berry crunch.
It's the best
Piper
name
likes it
ever.
baked up.
He's talking about Cho. Yeah, dude, I love
Oh,
the way he
man.
draws the ladies.
I'm like highly offended at that username.
Oh, it's my favorite thing ever.
All right. Now, your favorite food, Piper?
Sushi.
Sushi. Ah, well, it goes with the mermaid, I guess. Why not?
Right?
Go ahead, Eric.
Steak or breakfast, bacon and eggs. I practice the carnivore diet, so
Very nice. I try to. It's not as easy. I'm a big bread guy. I love bread and cake, but I am I do try to have my carnivore diet. So
trouble with bread and cake is they don't love you back.
no, they don't. It just adds pounds to the bottom of your gut. Not not
and
healthy.
Eric, it looks like it works for you. You're nice and slim.
Thank you. I was over 300 pounds in high school, so
Wow.
Wow. Well, how long have you been doing that diet?
2 years now. And it's kind of off and on. Go into the ketogenic. My wife doesn't participate, so I have to put up with other food shenanigans once in a while. And honestly, when you're on the diet for a while and you go back to eating your old ways, your gut is not happy.
Well, I mean, I guess that would be a way for you to want to keep to your diet, because you know the pain.
Yep, absolutely. All right, Piper, your favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, or one of each?
Plum sake. and Mountain Dew Voltage.
but not together.
Are you
Um,
a are you
haven't
a
tried them
gamer
together.
girl, Piper? Do you game?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I do.
I'm like, only gamers drink Mountain Dew, I swear. I don't know why.
Because it helps keep them awake while they're gaming.
Yeah,
Okay. That's called coffee for me.
that's my mornings.
Okay.
How many Red Bulls or how many Mountain Dews do you drink a day?
Just one bottle or two cans.
Okay. Now, is it a 2 liter bottle or is it a 1 liter bottle?
Oh no, like a 20 ounce.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
the I always have one on my desk.
The only time I ever got into Mountain Dew is when they did that campaign with the Batman Begins movie and they had Batman on the label. So I made friends with one of the 7-Eleven guys because they had a giant blow up of the bottle, and I still
Oh,
have it to this day with the Batman logo on it and all that.
is
So,
that one of the times that they released Pitch Black and they put
yes.
Batman on it? Dude, I
Yeah.
love that flavor so much. That is actually my actual favorite flavor, but they don't really
Did it,
do it.
yeah, no, it's got a lot of chemicals in it, but I think Mountain Dew in general has a lot of
Oh
chemicals in
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right. Eric, let me hear what you got, Big E. That's it. Your name. Your name.
Black coffee or whiskey?
Both
Ooh,
are
what flavor?
delicious.
What brand of whiskey?
I do lean into the Kentucky bourbons a lot. This cup just had some Basil Hayden in it. Very fine one. I'm a big fan of Angel's Envy, Elijah
Yep.
Craig. I got a nice little bottle collection. I think the best one I've ever had is Eagle Rare, but that's an expensive bottle. Buffalo
I got a
Trace. That's
Buffalo
a good one
Trace. I
too.
keep a bottle of that on my desk all the
That's how you
time.
judge a bartender is you get them to make you an old fashioned. And if they say, "What's that?" you leave the bar.
Ooh,
Oh,
It's
but
true.
that.
those have gotten so popular these days. I'd be shocked if a bartender didn't know
It's
now.
happened a couple of times. It's the original cocktail. That was the first drink that was a mixed cocktail.
Right? But they don't always used to use bourbon. They used to use a different kind of whiskey sometimes. But
Yeah, you got your
I
Irish whiskeys, and you've got the Kentucky bourbons, and then you've got different blends and things of that nature. There's so many. During COVID, I decided to take up drinking as a hobby, and I was going to try to try every whiskey, and that is a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
well,
you'd have to turn into an alcoholic to achieve that.
As I've told my father, despite my best efforts, I have not inherited his alcoholism.
And is
thank
he
God for
proud
that.
or offended?
He was proud. I took him out for dinner once, and he saw me ordering whiskey. He's like, "How long you been drinking whiskey?" He's like, "About 2.5 years."
Very good. Yeah. When I go out, I usually, because I guess it also affects the price, what brand of bourbon you order. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
I usually go with a bullet old fashioned.
Bullet's great. I love the Bullet Rye. That's a really good one. I do like the ryes. Um, More to the top shelf is a Woodford Reserve. That's a really good one too.
That's my favorite, the Woodford Reserves. When I go down to Florida, I pick up a limited edition bottle from Mickey Finn's, which is affiliated with the Bucky's truck stop or rest
Sweet.
stop. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
and they have a they have a smaller bottle, and it's like double, I don't know, double barrel or whatever it is. It's delicious.
yeah,
Better than the
sweet.
regular Woodford Reserves. It's a limited edition, and you can only get it in small batch.
Very
So,
cool. This is somebody who makes a really good whiskey you wouldn't think. The band Metallica. Like whoever their distillery is, that is an amazing, amazing whiskey.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. Thank you. I'll check into that. All right, let's continue with your favorite character. Also, any genre, Piper. Any genre, your favorite character.
Oh, it's another hard one. It's really hard asking me my favorite, especially in entertainment, because I have like too many and I can't pick one.
So then
Um,
roll down the list. Go ahead. Go for it.
oh my god. Uh, Look, if I stick in comics, I say Doom. Um,
The game Doom or Doctor Doom?
Doctor Doom for comics.
And what's your take on this new, you know, RD, Robert Downey Jr., RDJ coming in?
He's he's Tony Stark. It's gonna be a little too hard to separate. I'm sure hopefully they came up with an explanation, you
Well,
know.
it's an alternate universe. It's part of an alternate reality. And
There is
instead of
a
becoming Iron Man, he became Doctor Doom.
I was
And
gonna say there's a storyline where they do that, so I'm assuming that's where they went. And if the entire rest of the cast didn't suck, I bet it would be pretty neat.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, keep
Um,
going. Your other favorite characters?
Jessica Rabbit.
Okay,
She's
gotcha.
the first sexy cartoon character I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Nope, I'm sorry. I apologize. You cannot knock Betty Boop
I was
because
about to
by
say, wait a
far,
minute, I seen Betty Boop
That's
first.
true. That is true.
Yeah,
But
Betty Boop
Jessica
was my.
Rabbit,
Uh,
something else.
Betty Boop is bae.
she was my first comic love. Betty Boop.
Just about any werewolf character in existence in anything. So
Oh wow, I'm a Werewolf by Night fan. So yeah,
yes,
yeah, Die Hard. I just picked up
awesome.
a couple of books at a Steel City Comic Con that Cosmic Grandpa and I went to, and I bought a whole stack. I lost my collection in a flood when my basement, my hot water heater let go, and I had the entire run of Werewolf by Night, and it got destroyed. The whole first run, all the 70s, early 80s stuff, gone, totally sunk, just dripping wet. It was. I cried for days.
I had to
Uh,
leave behind all of my comics when I moved to Ohio, and that's like I didn't bother rebuying a lot of them because I was like, I already did. They're just not here.
yeah,
Yeah, I already did that.
right, right. But I did want to pick up a couple of them, so I did. I grabbed some of the earlier editions. I found a guy that had a really nice run, so I grabbed a bunch of them.
That is
But
awesome.
you're getting a congratulations from Don Draws stuff. I thought it said Don Trans stuff. So
Thanks,
sorry,
Done.
Don.
Don. Sorry, Don. But let's go to Big E. Your favorite characters?
Okay, so in Marvel, it's Iron Man. He's always been my guy. If you're talking DC, I'm a huge Swamp Thing fan. Literary character James Bond. I'm a huge James Bond fanatic. I like sword and sorcery. I like the Red Sonja. And in Japanese anime, I like Revi from Black Lagoon,
Ooh.
Oh,
Yoko Lentner from Gurren Lagann, Aqua from Konosuba. I'm a bit of a weeb, so
I was
as the,
trying
as the
not to
kids
sit
say.
here and list off nothing but anime characters, so I ended up staying all the way away from it. And I forgot Poison Ivy. Like I have a Poison Ivy stuff collection, and I forgot her.
there you go. There you go. Very good. Very cool. All right. And the last and final question of the night before we get into the show. Your favorite band, Piper? Do you want me to throw it to Eric first?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
Big
you
E,
you've
go
been
for it.
you've been giving Eric lots of time to think, so it's his
All
turn.
right, so my absolute favorite band right now of this man is the band Sabaton. They are a Swedish rock band, and they're Vikings all the way through. Their songs are all about World War II, World War One, different heroes throughout combat. Growing up, when I was 8 years old, Iron Maiden.
All right. So you said the name of the first band was Sabaton?
Sabaton, look them up. They need to be filling arenas here in the States.
I'm pretty sure that's not the first time that band's been mentioned as a favorite band on this show.
They are absolutely terrific. If you haven't listened to any of their music, the first one I would recommend is To Hell and Back. It's about the legendary figure Audie Murphy from World War II, who took on an entire battalion of tanks by himself and came home, became an actor, starred in the movie Hell and Back about himself.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, I just pulled him up. The Last Stand, The Attack of the Dead Men,
Yeah,
Bismarck, and To Hell and Back are the first four that they mentioned immediately. Very
amazing.
cool.
The
I'm gonna.
Red Baron is my favorite song. They legit start the entire thing out with old school like giant organ, like really old like organ music, and it's just chef's kiss.
Very cool. I'll have to look them up and give them a listen to. I'm a big music buff. I had a huge collection of albums, cassettes, CDs. Same problem. They got lost in the flood. I only
No,
have a couple of milk crates left of the albums that I had. Original stuff. I mean, all the way back. I worked at Record World when I was back in college, so I had a lot of picture discs, and I had some really
sweet.
unique, one of a kind pieces that gone, lost,
Did
couldn't
you do a
recover
lot
them.
of tape? Did you have to do a lot of tape trading when you were a kid?
I did a lot of bootleg trading. We
Oh
would get a
yeah,
lot of bootlegs from the concerts. Yeah, that we did. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
good times.
Very
I,
cool.
I did love getting mixtapes.
And mixtapes. I did a shit ton of mixtapes when I was a kid. All right, Piper, you're up.
Still way too many, but so I'll go around to different genres. Nine Inch Nails, Death Clock, yeah, Fetus Berries Crunches, his his album, his album is great.
Peter's
um,
Berry has an album.
hmm, yeah, it's like shut the fuck up, goddamn. Wait, can we cuss on here? Because I just did.
Yes, yes. We
Absolutely.
are a free speech show,
All right,
so
Like
good. um. Oh my gosh, there's still so many. Cradle of Filth. A lot of memories from there. See, and my friends' bands, but that's a lot. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Used to be Corn for a while. Um, so a lot in the metal for a good while, but now I'm all like I've spread. I'm all more all over the genres. There's some Japanese music that I couldn't even tell you the names of the bands.
that's okay, but since we're on the music end of this, my question to you is: since you're a gamer, do you have a favorite theme music from a game that you listen to or play regularly?
Honestly, a lot of my favorite game music comes from Final Fantasy games.
Okay,
They get stuck in my head the easiest. Also Doom.
got
Even
it.
even old Doom, even old like original Doom, even that music will get stuck in my head sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. The old Doom stuff is got a nice, it becomes an earworm and it doesn't leave your head.
Yeah. Um Oh, hi Punk Waddle. Japanese ska. Yeah, seriously, this I'm all over the place, and a lot of times it's not even favorite groups, it'll be like a favorite song. And then if somebody asks me who did it, I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go look that back up. I just know that this song rocks." Like,
There you go, and it's in your playlist, right?
yeah.
It's just in the playlist. All
And
right,
I
we
make
got.
some songs sometimes too.
You make songs?
Yeah. I wish I had the equipment to make them a lot better.
It doesn't take much to just start collecting the equipment you need.
That's what I'm slowly working to because I used to sing. Well, technically I still sing. It's just karaoke now. Uh
Yeah. All right. So is that Pudwhacker? No, I'm sorry, Punk Waddle. I'm
oh
sorry,
my God. we've got we've got Fetus Berry Crunch and Pudwhacker and
No, it's Punk Waddle. I
yes.
apologize, Punk Waddle. I called you Pudwhacker.
What
My
kind of crowd
apologies.
are you guys hanging out with, bringing over here to
Pudwhacker.
Creative Chaos? Hey, all just kind of because we're looking at the chat, I did want to say what's up to Justin over at Belmont. I almost said Belmont Crunch. That's fine. Belmont Crunch works for me. Uh,
I gotta say, I gotta say hello to Justin too because I love his book.
okay.
Smokes, smokes the fox and the that whole thing. I love my
Oh,
book that
those
I got from
guys.
him.
You gotta get pencils down because of course it has a really awesome cover by me.
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
look
I
into
didn't
that.
know that. Okay. I didn't know that as much as I didn't know Piper had anything to do with the Ariel book.
All right. So that ends our fanboy for us, and we're going to move into the rest of the show. So right now, I turn it back over to my boss lady, La Jefa. Carry it on.
Okay. It's back to me, everybody. Let's talk more about the project that you guys are pushing right now. You guys did fantastically over on Fund My Comic when you first launched because you, I think you hyped it correctly because everybody was kind of like knowing what was going on as it was being developed. Am I wrong
Well, a
in
lot
that?
were following it from the time that it was that joke meme, because so many had said the please make this real or tell me it's real. So
Shut up and
plenty
take
were
my
following
money.
it. Yeah, shut up, take my money. So plenty were following it from that. Like as soon as this thing goes live, like
No, I
I
got to give a lot of credit to Pixel Trader because he has been the one driving all of the promotion for this.
yeah, he's way
He,
better
he's
than me at promoting stuff for sure.
he is he's tireless. He's doing all the lettering and the graphic design and laying out the book, but he's also like getting us on shows like yours, and just really pounding the pavement on Twitter and whatnot. And he's great at it. He's really done a good job. I couldn't ask for a better boss.
Mm.
And he's
Oh, is
really great editorially wise too. You know, it's like we have a great relationship. He'll say maybe change this, change that. Right now, I'm seeing colors from our new colorist, Big Boy Robo, which you have to follow him if you're not following him. He is making me look amazing. But you know, he'll send us some pages, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is awesome." And Pixel will come up, and he make very salient points, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I really like that he's doing a lot of the stuff that typically like creators on a book are just either not good at or don't have time for or don't know
Yeah,
how. Because a lot of it's like I know how to make up stories that I think are awesome. I don't know how to do much outside of, my job description for that. So I'm not as good at like promoting or coming up with merch ideas and this and that. Um, so he's doing his list of things he does is way longer than me and Eric, but uh it looks smaller because it's a whole bunch of stuff that adds up.
yeah,
so
well,
you
go ahead,
guys
Eric. Yeah.
you guys' show along with everybody who's had us on to promote this Kickstarter is going to be on the back of a band shirt. So we hired a French artist, Nicole. He did a rock album version of the Mercmaid, the Cocaine
Love
Shark,
it.
and Stabby, the Crab. And on the back is the tour dates. And instead of having a city, it's going to have all the podcasts and YouTube shows that have had us on.
Yeah, that was something when I had seen when I had seen the design, not only the design, but just also the idea behind the whole promo shirt, I fr- I fell in love. Like I'd been knowing what your project is for over a year and had been like, hey, that's cool. And I really love the art, Eric. The art's fantastic and the colors. But it is what it is. I mean, it's fucking noisy out there, right? But then I saw the shirt because I'm a marketer, for my magazine. I'm like, brilliant, freaking amazing idea. I'm stoked for it. And I'm assuming because you guys are on Creative Chaos that I get to be on the back of the shirt. And that makes me so happy too.
Yep,
I
absolutely.
I love the idea as soon as he proposed it because I'm like, you know what? I don't think we give enough credit to the shows that let us promote our stuff on them. Um, and I couldn't think of, I wouldn't have been able to think of something neat to do to thank them. And this shirt is definitely the way to do that. Where he's like, you get to be on the shirt, the
Yes.
Mercmaid shirt.
Hell yeah. When I think it was, and I feel bad, but it was after seeing the shirt where I'm like, hello, I've never met you before, but do you want to come on my show? And I've been meaning to reach out to Pixel Trader because we have, you know, in the scene, everybody has mutual friends. So I
I
know
was
we
gonna
have
say I've
mutual
seen you
friends.
in the same, like social media circles. We've been in the same threads chatting about different stuff, but
It takes a while to meet everybody, and I'm so pleased that you decided to come on and turn your camera on to show off your hair. See, you do know how to market because you're like, Who wants to see my yellow
Who
hair? And
wants to
everybody's
see
like,
the
me,
train
me.
wreck? Who wants to see what went wrong with my hair today?
And so I credit you for our 56 live viewers when normally we're around 44. So I think you guys brought another 10 to 15 people to come hang out with
Nice.
us tonight. But so I'd actually love to know more because you said right at the beginning when we brought up, the whole meme thing and you were immediate Piper, you said immediately you started writing it in your head. I just want to know, like, do you remember what your first thoughts were and what you started writing in your head? I'd love to hear it.
Rambo.
Okay.
I don't know. I looked at the picture and I was like, I want to see. I want this to be a movie almost, but like I want to see like Little Mermaid Rambo style movie. And I kind of went from there and moved a little bit slightly more away from like just being Rambo, but more it was my first thought, including, oh, we gotta put a bandana on her head, and then I'm like, nah, we don't need that. Um because I was also like, and I want her to look like as hot as possible. I like looking at pretty girls, drawings of pretty girls too. I'd rather look at very pretty ladies than
Big fat
fictional
slobs?
ladies. Yeah,
Yeah.
that I definitely know were ladies. I'm all for the cheesecake. I mean, if people would put more beefcake in their comics, I would not complain in the slightest at all, guys. Uh, but I'm all for cheesecake too, though, because I'm looking at something pretty and attractive. Um, so I definitely wanted that. Like, I already liked how she ended up looking on there, which was, technically like an accident at that point. Um, but yeah, I went from, oh my gosh, Little Mermaid Rambo to just Little Mermaid, but it's an 80s action flick.
Okay, and then so you had the idea because it is interesting to me, it kind of started with Pixel Trader, then you two came in immediately. I'd love to know more also about like the character design and how you guys all worked together or how that worked with between you, Pixel, Eric, all that.
What's super interesting is for her design, it was taken largely from the original post because that was already really neat. I really thought it was neat the way it kind of sprinkled some of her scales and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, we definitely got to keep this element. Um, Eric put his twist on her. I love especially her face. Just I don't know the way he made her face, especially in her eyes. Absolutely in love with him doing that. But some of the other characters was kind of funny. We kind of like made up the character at the exact same time.
Ooh,
Cocaine Shark was
that's
funny because I wrote Cocaine Shark into the script and then found out that Eric was sitting on a Cocaine Shark ash can sort of thing ready to go. Like he already had a cover.
Yep.
And I was like, so Shark clearly has to happen.
Yep.
I'll give it to Eric. I wrote him into in the book, but Eric was already like, if I didn't do it, Eric would have made sure that Cocaine Shark got in there if I didn't already put him in there.
Yeah. When the Cocaine Bear movie came out, and Pixel had done, I forget the exact timeline, but it was around the same time as the Little Mermaid, and the Cocaine Bear movie came out. I'm like, I want to see a cocaine shark because I'm a big shark buff. I got Jaws stuff all over here and whatnot. So I drew it. That was my own. Let me do a shit post, but I drew it myself, and it turned into a really cool idea. And then now we have a second supplemental book that was it's like 16, 20. I think it's gonna end up being like 20 pages because we've had our colorist contribute a story. We had 6 a.m. Comics contribute a story. We have another surprise in store for people who for another story contributor. So the lore's really built itself around these 3 core characters: Cocaine Shark, Coral, the Little Mercmaid, and Sebastian,
Sebastian,
the
yeah.
crab.
I was gonna say Sebastian's another one that was an interesting group effort. He was another one that I had wrote him into the script, but at the time that I wrote him into the script, all I knew was that I wanted his name to be Sebastian and so awesome. And that he had to have a knife. And then I think Eric was one that posted one of the many little videos where people are showing the crabs actually fighting back with like kitchen knives and stuff like that. And I was like, that's what made me want to name him Sebastian. That evolved into him having a broken claw and a knife attached there instead of just holding one. And then he turned into a cigar smoking war vet, and even his look evolved because I had one idea, and then I found out the crab that I was basing him off of wasn't even like an underwater crab. It was like a land crab. So I was like, oh, um, that took on a new life when Jose did his cover
Oh yeah.
because we still didn't have like a strict description of Sebastian. We just had at that point like blind in one eye and like cigars and claws has a knife stuck to it to replace part of the claw. That's all we really had. Um and then we saw the version of him on the cover, and we were like, well, yeah, why are we trying to go? Because I accidentally was trying to go hyper realistic, and I was like, why
Right.
are we when everything else in here is already ridiculous? Why am I trying to go realistic with the crab? He still looks more like a crab than Sebastian does, so I'm pretty happy.
All right. Well, and on that note, and Pixel, oh, good. I'm glad you just said what's up in chat because in our private chat, there were a couple of things going on. The fact that there may be a spoiler, and then the image got dropped. So I do want to bring it up, and then for anybody that hasn't had a closer look at the project yet, because like I said, we don't really scroll campaigns here, but if I get something like a spoiler, I am for sure going to show it off. But I don't know if it's okay to show or not. So, like, do you guys know if it's okay? Should we bring it up or should we wait for Pixel in chat to say thumbs up or what?
Yeah, let's wait on the boss man. Because if it's the story for the supplemental cocaine shark book, there's still some edits that need to be done with that. So
Okay. Well, you know what he dropped in the private chat. So was that a cocaine shark thing? Oh, he said show that page. Cool. All right, and we've got
Gives
it.
permission. He gives permission.
I was gonna say we also have he did drop the link to the original post that started the entire thing.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
It's in the DM though, the Twitter DM.
Okay, cool. Well, I can bring
Send
that
that
up.
to send that to Cosmic Grandpa so we can pull it up and show everybody. I'd
Yeah,
love to
and
see it.
well, Cause has the image up, so let's take a look so people can see more of what we're talking about as far as Coral and Sebastian. I know they're on this page. All right.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I had to zoom in, you guys, because that top panel and Cause if you have the ability to zoom in, I'd love for you to do that as well, and we can scroll. Fantastic. That looked dirty to me. I'm like, what the hell is going on there?
So let me explain what's going on here. So with Coral, her abilities come and go with seawater as far as having legs. So what's happening here is you've got this goon who's from the drawn in tier, one of our backers with the minigun, tearing into this saltwater aquarium. So the water's spilling on her, and she's starting to scale up. And as if you look through the hailfire of bullets in the next panel, you can see her legs starting to glue together and the tail starting to form. So it's a really fun gimmick to play with. And so she's just
Yeah.
absolutely distressed right here.
Yeah, I wanted her to still have like a weakness and not just be like full on girl boss in the whole book. I guess.
Good. So you're telling me you're a good writer.
I hope so. I hope everybody thinks so. I think everybody's gonna like it. But yeah, I definitely wanted to put, okay, she's got this ability, but asterisks. Like
Yeah, and it comes up later in the progress of the story, so it's definitely a thorn in her side. One of the things I have to point out about this page that I drew in is to see how many people actually notice it. So there's a little tiny clownfish that pops out of the aquarium. It's bouncing there in between the bullets.
Yeah,
And the
just
last
scroll back
panel,
up.
yeah. If you zoom in on the middle panel there at the very bottom, You can kind of see a balance line there with the little. There'll be a splash that Pixel will put in. There's a little clownfish that bounces out, and then the very last panel, you can see the tail hanging out of Sebastian's mouth.
Oh.
Well, he's so calm and cool because he's planning his next move. He's like, "Ooh, food." He
Very
found Nemo.
okay. That is awesome because yeah, I had and really you really do have to scroll in if you're viewing it on a thing. I'm sure, it's all quite apparent when you're looking at it in a physical book. But I zoomed in, I'm like, wow, there's so much shit going on. Okay, something's happening and she's turning back into a mermaid. I don't know what it is, but very, very cool. Great page.
Thank you.
Eric and Pixel stuck in a lot of cute little tongue in cheek stuff. That I would go and put in the script. That was definitely them. Where I was sitting here working hardcore on story. The DM group, man, of us just putting this together, because then there'd be, oh, what if this? We need this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can squeeze that in. But there's tons where I was just like, these are awesome ideas, but these are like bigger story elements that we need a whole nother
Yeah,
book. We need another
we've
book
got
to
we've got a
squeeze this
lot. If we
in.
want to do another book, we've got a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's my question as well, because my assumption, just kind of, browsing what you guys are doing and knowing that you funded on Fund My Comic with this first book, but then here's new art coming out. Can you guys give us details of what's happening here? Why is there more art? What's going on?
So what happened was, during the course of production, I needed to pay bills, so I took on a job with my good friend Jay, Drunk 3PO, working on one of his children's books, the Achromatic Chronicles Green. And at the same time, we stopped getting work from our previous colorist, and it just dragged on, dragged on. I had turned in a bunch of pages. We hadn't been getting any colors back. So we made the tough decision to just, kind of can the guy like tuna fish. And I reached out to Big Boy Robo, who's colored some of my stuff in the past. I've got him helping out on Dinosaur Man and some other projects. And he's a really great like he can draw really well. His animation style is beautiful, and he's one heck of a colorist. Like he's knocked every page out of the park. So because the whole trouble there, like I got the book done like last February. I was done with initial pages this past February, and then he had to come in and start picking up the slack. We had him redoing some pages, so we knew we had extra time on our hands, which is why we're offering the Second Chance campaign. I actually went back in and started making some improvements because I'd been doing a lot of drawing and I just got relaxed into the character, found my jive, and I'm like, you know what? I need to go update the cover. I need to update these panels. And then it's just been so worth it because this is going to be one of the most beautiful books I've ever seen. Like, I can't compliment myself to save myself, but I'm looking at these pages going, good grief, that's gorgeous. So it has all worked out for the better. We've lost a couple of backers here and there, but most of you guys have stuck with us. The Fund My Comic people, if you backed us on there, you got this book made. You're the ones that got this book made. This is us just trying to offer it a second chance on Kickstarter. And once we're done with the Kickstarter, it's going to print, and then we'll start from fulfillment.
All right. So what's the long-term plan with the property? Do you guys plan on doing more books? But because I've heard there's something thematically in the works, with a Hercules type story. But are
Yeah,
you guys
so
doing more aerial stuff?
Pixel has kind of created a Mercverse. So
Sounds that way.
it's pretty exciting. And that's one of the things when you got to do with these. If you're taking yourself seriously as a creator, you got to have a long-term strategy, and that's part of a growing long-term strategy is to build out a larger universe. One of the things, like the brand of cocaine in the book is called Snow White. There's plenty of material that we can work with there. We have the Sebastian plushie, which we'd really love to do like a little Golden Book style origin story for him, because he survived a sushi restaurant. That's why he's
Okay.
got the kitchen. That's why he's got the kitchen knife. So we want to tell that story and maybe offer a plushie. But we've all got our own projects as well. I'm working on Daughter's Revenge, a pirate graphic novel that's going to be 5 volumes. And there's a still American Bliss 2 out on the wings for me there too, and I've got a graphic novel with Kurt Angle coming up from Mess Bucket, part of our series with professional wrestlers is super. So we've all got our own other projects as well. So I guess bottom line is there's plenty of material. We would love to do it. If the timing works out, we'll get another one, I'm sure.
All right, and then looks like we got a backer while we've been live from Brian
Brian!
Christgau, and
Thank you, Brian.
but he's also Poke and Piper.
Yeah, mistakes were made. No, things went wrong. It's not supposed to be this color. It shouldn't stay this color for too long because it's not supposed to be this color. But
There's a
my hair
whole
is
thing
apparently really stubborn.
involved. I've
But
never done
yeah,
it
with
myself, but
the
my daughter does, and I'm like, I don't think it's supposed to look like that.
it's not. So basically, it's a work in progress because if we had gone any longer with it, it would have fried the hair. So I got to give my hair time to repair, and then we'll take the yellow out because it's not supposed to be yellow, blonde. It's actually supposed to be silver, and it's supposed to be a little bit darker than this darker silver.
Are you going to try again for the silver?
Yeah, it's just going to take more than one session because apparently the natural black of my hair just did not want to give up without a fight. So
you went from black. Okay, I can imagine.
Well,
We can
technically,
talk
I went
about
from
it all night.
salt and pepper, but there was a lot of pepper, and that pepper just was not leaving. Just had to mess with you. Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, because even when I was at the salon, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be on a stream tonight. I thought I was gonna be rocking like new hairdo. And this is not the new hairdo I thought I was gonna be rocking on that stream. But I did want to say for Mercmaid, the book is a open and closed story. Like you get closure, you get a full story, not a to be continued. But
Yeah,
there's
we're not leaving you
so
hanging.
much stuff that we didn't get to fit in there that we only kind of got to allude to a little bit. So there's still plenty even in the book that makes you go, yeah, if there was another book I'd like to know about. Like the gun. We didn't get the book doesn't go into much detail about that gun. It's almost like it's just a label on the crate. On a crate for the most part. But there is so much we could work with that has to do with the AR-13L. That I can't remember could be a prequel or a sequel. I can't remember, but
Okay, fantastic. Well, and on that note, I had a perfect segue, Piper, but you had to keep talking, and that's totally fine.
Sorry.
But no, because I said, oh, we can girl talk all night, and I'm like, oh, that's a perfect segue into mansplain, our next segment.
Awesome. This sounds exciting.
It is, and you are more than welcome to participate in it because I think you will have valuable information to add to the conversation that me and Eric will have, and you're more than welcome to chime in. But let's get into mansplain first.
Shh. Listen, girl.
I like that.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Eric. It's the producer's choice on which stinger to play. So maybe he feels I'm a little angry tonight. All right.
My hands are already messed up, so you can't get much worse than this.
Are they really that bad?
Oh yeah.
That was just wow. We just gotta like screw a knife onto one of them, and then you'll be rad. Anyway, the reason I've created Mansplain is because we all know, and it happens to be that I often, like probably 99% of the guests that I have on are men and white and straight. So basically, the most hated person in all of Western culture. So I made Mansplain to actually give a platform for men to explain things. And I have a burning question for you, Eric, but Piper, I think you'll fit straight into this. It does not matter if you're a man or not. Um,
You can
sounds
identify
to
as one tonight. I allow.
Right? I
what's
identify
that?
as.
Identify as what you please. Um, doesn't change that you still have yellow hair. I kid. Sorry. Anyway, so it sounds to me that both of you guys have been like networking with the indie scene. Eric, it sounds like maybe even you've gone a little bit further and, kind of made friends with some heavy hitters out there. If there were anybody out there that wanted to kind of be able to write for other people or illustrate for other people, I'd like the best advice on how to go about doing that.
Check your ego at the door, because you need to be open to criticism. You need to be open to be able to make changes. You don't want to. Artists tend to look at their work and be protective of it. It's something we kind of learn as a child. We don't want the vulnerability, but you have to look at it not just as, like, speaking for a graphic artist. It's not just art. You're producing a product, and this is why a lot of indie comics fail, is because you refuse to look at the work you're producing as a product. Is this something that you would buy? Is this something that a normie would buy? It's like we have an insulated audience here of, independent comic creators, former comic pros, people who are like insiders. They're going to rip things apart differently. Something that I might hate about my work, a normal person that just wants to read a fun story is never going to notice. So yeah, just kind of check the ego there, be humble, and yeah, that's the best advice I could give.
And I like this. Fetus Berry says, "Ha ha ha ha, normies."
Normies.
Do you guys feel like that's an offensive name? Because I've heard
No,
other
no.
people think it's offensive. I don't think it is. It's just normal people.
But yeah, I was gonna say, to me it was always just uh the people that aren't in here, like your general public, general consumers, general
People who
fans.
work a 9 to 5
Yeah.
just want to relax when they get home. They want some entertainment. They don't want to be preached at by some woke culture or whatnot. But they don't know what's good or bad. You have to tell them what they want too. They don't know what they want. So come up with a good story. Tell them why you're enthusiastic about it. They'll be like, oh yeah, I kind of want that.
So I could give separate advice as from a writer's standpoint, which is if you write it, they will come. Uh, you do kind of need your first chance to kind of get your foot in there, um, so that people can see what you're capable of. For me, it was as an editor, especially comic editor. I wasn't even a comic editor at first. I thoroughly enjoy editing comics more than anything else. Um,
Really?
yeah, it is my favorite, because instead of reading like massive walls of text and this and that, I'm more going, does this panel description, is it going to make sense to your artist? Is your artist going to be able to translate this into a drawing, or does it sound weird? Like, can I visualize this? Are you making the best use of the page, um by doing it this way? And then there's dialogue, but it's more broken down, and you feel like a director, more than just plain editor.
That
um
actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So do you often, kind of give feedback to the writer saying, oh, I think it would be better to do this with that panel? And
yeah, my biggest thing is, if I'm editing somebody else's work, this is your story, so I'm going to tell you how to make your story, how to polish it, make it the most appealing, make it read better. um if you're not, the artist, if you're hiring somebody, here's how to tell your artist exactly what you're looking for, so they're not guessing, and this and that. But I'm playing the part of like editor and um test reader. in a way. And but I always leave it as, other than grammar and this and that, I'm not making permanent changes. I'm telling you how I you could improve, but I'm not going to go in here and change it, because it is still your story. At the end of the day, if you are determined that nope, you don't want to do it that way, it is your baby, it is your story, these are your characters, and even if I think your character suddenly went out of character, you don't. It's your story. So all I do is put in suggestions. I put, this should be worded this way, makes more sense, or I think this is my suggestion, is to either do this or this for this. But other than like regular edits, just your typical like Grammarly type stuff. I don't just go in and change it for them. I tell them how I think it should be changed, and I tell them why. Why, I think it should be changed that way, instead of just, "You suck," you know, "You suck, I'm
That's probably a
I write
terrible
good,
editor.
I write good, you write bad, this is what you should do." No, I tell them why. I tell them exactly, like, why I think this should be changed, why I think, "Well, look, your character was like this seems really out of character after reading the whole entire, rest of your comic." And stuff like that. Uh, and it's a lot of fun, and word of mouth spread that way first, because I don't hold back.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not going to be your yes man.
Well, I mean, that's not the purpose of an editor. You kind of have to be the dick,
I
but
noticed,
be
yeah,
the
I've noticed a couple people really hoping that they were hiring a yes man that was going to tell them that they were a genius and the best thing ever, and they didn't get that. But the thing that I've been told that people appreciate the most, the feedback I've gotten, is they appreciated the most that I've been brutally honest and given them the why. Like, for anybody that needed it, I've given them the why. Um, but they've appreciated that I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and go, so it's going to be, well, I mean, it is going to be okay. Everything's fixable. If you haven't printed it yet,
it's true.
it is going to be okay. But um, I don't actually tell people they suck, because if you have a story you want to tell, not everybody knows how. And so I'll help you. I'll tell you how. I will show you how. Um, the worst part is I keep making it to where they don't need me anymore.
Right.
Because
Well,
I will teach, because I'll keep giving them the whys and stuff like that, and I will teach, and then they're really good at their job and they don't need me anymore. No. They usually at least come back for the proofreadings and stuff, but they don't need me as the training wheels come off. They
so
don't need me
what,
as much.
for like Punk Waddle here says he wants to make a comic book about a punk penguin and have Piper edit it just cuz.
Just
But
cause.
and that's do it, Punk Waddle. But for anybody that doesn't already know who you are, and it's like, I think I could use Piper as an editor. What's the best way for them to find you?
Right now my social medias, I need to figure out what my website died. So I need to figure out how to revive that, and I might just turn it into a link dump kind of deal. It used to be a blog, like I used to write about comics and video games too.
Okay.
But now I'm busy writing the comics, which is honestly way more fun. So
And I do have to bring it back to this because it was a comment, and um I'm forgetting everybody's names right now. You, dinosaur guy.
Yes.
um
oh
had mentioned the Substack, and I had seen
no, how the
Pixel.
turntables have
Yes. Anyway, Substack.
yeah.
I'm a huge believer in Substack. I believe that's where, as far as social media goes, that's where the people that actually read are. Substack also does not censor. Substack also, every time you publish something on your page, it goes directly to your email. So it's like an email list as well. And you can monetize. And since Trump took office this term, it's grown by 1 million users. So
Wow.
So
I didn't even know that's what Substack was. I know Pixel made one like just now, and I was like, oh neat. I don't know what that is.
I'd say anybody that does writing or wants to promote comic books or anything that they do, and you're a smart person and just want to get your content out there, use Substack. Like, we're finding, we've had a Substack for over a year and have like slowly been putting stuff out and learning how it works. But just recently opened up our paywall thing, and we've gotten 5 paid subscribers,
Huh.
within a month. And it's like,
Oh,
okay, this has maybe staying
That's
power.
neat.
So look into it. Look into it.
Yeah.
I started one, but I have no idea what to do with it. So I guess
Yeah,
I need to take a
it's
second
a
look.
learning curve
Mm.
because I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. But you just kind of have to decide what you want to do with it because it's kind of like a web page and an email list and a social media all built into like one thing. So we're liking it so far. I just had to shout out Substack.
I
Mm.
do want to bounce off of Piper being an editor because artists need editors too. And Pixel has been wonderful in terms of the Mercmaid. I think if you're a comic book artist and you have your writer just telling you everything is beautiful and badass and I love this, that's a warning sign. Especially if you're new to doing this, because just because you can draw, just because you could do like a sexy pinup, doesn't mean you can tell a story in a panel. So yeah, anybody who says you don't need an editor is a dumbass.
I've heard that a lot.
That's honestly, and for new
That I'm a
indies
dumbass, that is.
especially, I think having an editor separates you from the other brand new indies. It's going to put you at a
Yeah,
level.
separates the men from the boys.
Yeah,
So that's mansplaining.
yeah.
The,
But
the
yeah, that's why
hobbyists,
like
the
so
hobbyists
I've
from the
written a
future
couple
pros.
comics so that I can put my, I guess, whatever, my money where my mouth is. So I'm like, I'm out here word of mouth for the editing part, but my passion was actually the writing part. So I need to like I want to show people that, I'm not talking up my butt when I'm editing their comics. I can write them. Um and it is so much fun. But it's been
Good.
word of mouth for me. So my main advice is just you got get your first couple of gigs to prove your metal. And if you have to make them, you do the gigs for yourself. Like, write anything you're good at writing. If you're a writer, uh, even if you make it free, like I'm gonna get back to working on a web novel that's going to be free just because it's an idea that I would love to see as a comic, but I have too much going on. So I'm just putting the story out there because if people come, if it's a I would love to see this as a comic, then there's already interest.
I have a pulp story about a robot detective, and I've been putting it out as articles on X. Maybe I should do that for Substack because nobody looks at articles on X.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. X is, I mean, it's the platform everybody's used to, the very short,
Yeah, the
little bites, and the
yeah,
readers are over on Substack. So do it, everybody, do it, and then we can all network over there. I think we'd have a great time doing so.
it's still called Twitter. I still call it Twitter most of the time. Zitter.
I just wanted to point out somebody in the chats. We got KPlan1142 wants to know where's the best place to get updates on the Mercmaid book. So
You
can you
can follow the
mansplain us?
yeah,
Substack.
yeah. Definitely follow AR13L, the Little Mermaid on X. So you can follow Sebastian on X, follow Pixar Trader, Dreaded Dinosaur, Piper, myself, because we're always sharing stuff. But fund the book, buy back the book, then you get all the updates too. So
Yeah, the little detail updates would be through Fund My Comic and Kickstarter. They go directly to the backers.
I got to
All right.
tell you, I've been looking at your Kickstarter campaign, and I went to the Fund My Comic one because it gave a link to that as well when I was looking it up, and it said that this page is under construction. So did you take down the Fund My Comic one?
Oh yeah, that one closed when we thought we were a lot closer to fulfillment and getting our final numbers in before we realized that we were running into a little bit of a delay. Uh, so yeah, I don't think that one works anymore.
You
If I'm
should
not
still
It
be able
doesn't.
to
mistaken.
It's
look at it, but
closed.
it's not funding.
Yeah, it should be funded.
You can't see it. It's too light. It says this campaign is
Pixel!
currently. It says this campaign is currently being edited and or awaiting approval from the admin team. Please check back
Oh,
later.
he must have
Oh,
made a change and updated some art and stuff. That's what happens. So,
okay.
Yeah, because I did want to look at it just to see what it was about. But I am currently on the Kickstarter campaign, and I'm looking it up, and I'm loving all the different covers that you guys have out. You know, cover A through F, and the one cover that caught my eye that made me laugh because I'm a toy guy. If you can't tell behind me, was the cover E, which was the action figure cover. That was hysterical.
That's
so
the one that
I
the
I was
CEO.
scrolling. Go ahead, Viper.
Oh, yo, you could say it because I was the last to know. No.
So I was scrolling was it last night or the night before last, just scrolling my newsfeed, and I came across another comic book channel talking about Kickstarter, and the CEO of Kickstarter was in that chat talking about all the benefits of it. So I just replied to him and said, "Yeah, I got my book, The Little Mercmaid, is up there right now." And darn it, he just chimed in back to cover E.
Wow, so nice.
So the
Yeah.
CEO. So please make it a project we love. My gosh.
They that's I wish sometimes people could just see the chatter that goes on in the group, working DM basically for this. Because Eric said that and I was like, "What?" As in like mind blown what? And Pixel's in there like explaining it to me like and I'm like, "No, that's not what I meant when I said what." But it was so cute. I was like, "No, I meant like what?" And I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
And another thing that you're going to want to know since you like toys is that 3D model is real. We just lack the money to get it produced. Otherwise, we could actually make a G.I. Joe Mercmaid figure. So, again, all of you guys out there watching, you support this effort. You get us to make another book. Pump that thing up to 6 figures so we can make a freaking toy.
I was gonna say make toy get more Sebastian plushies because I'm still salty.
Yeah.
I'm so salty.
That's
I have a skate deck. But I was so salty that he got the freaking Sebastian plushie.
Yeah, Pixel sent me 2 skate decks. I got this plushie because I was doing a lot of cons. So he was
Okay, that makes
just sending
sense.
me stuff to set up at cons.
I'm sitting there like, what? You get all of this stuff? What gift?
No, there's a purpose behind it because I can't skate. I don't need 2 skate decks. But I did the PowerCon in Ohio 2 years ago, and I had a really nice corner booth, and one whole side was Sebastian, my Spaz plushie, my prototype action figures, all the stuff for the Mercmaid book. And there was tons of suppliers and stuff there. So I know exactly who to reach out to if we can just make a figure, make a plushie, whatever. It was.
Dude, I want a puppet would be so cool. Sorry.
Puppet would be
I love
cool.
puppets.
Punkwaddle just gave me an idea. I don't think I could do the voice justice though.
All right. Well, guess what though? You are going to do voices in just a little bit, but first, just like at the beginning of the show, Bruce likes to see how much of fans you are and get to know you that way. Me personally, I love to get to know my guests by how much of a conspiracy theorist you are. So we're going to get into Conspiracy Corner,
Nice.
and we're going to have a good time.
Let's do it.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
And this is also the segment in which
Oh, you
Smoke
got
'em if
the
you got
hat.
'em. Well, I mean,
I'm
we're on YouTube, so we must have the hat for
I was gonna
extra
say I
protection.
am so down. X Files was one of my favorite shows.
You know, you know what's funny? So I've decided that I'm going to watch X-Files from the beginning, but then my husband goes, "I don't want you wasting time on the ones that don't mean anything." So he started looking up people's opinions
Oh
of like
no.
which episodes you skip, and I'm like, "No, I want the fillers too."
I was gonna say that you can break it down to Monster of the Week and conspiracy episodes is what I called them. You know, the
Right.
Monster of the Week was, oh cool, they're hunting a vampire, you know, or something. They found a werewolf and he's got a, you know,
I love
and
I
Scully
love
can't
the
figure
little
out that
bugs in
that's
the
a werewolf
woods.
and it's right in front of her and all that cute shit.
Yeah.
Right. No, you know, obviously it's a disease. But and then the conspiracy episodes, I'm like, that's where they pull out cigarette smoking man. And
Yes.
now they can be some of the slower, more boring episodes because it's a lot of exposition. It's a lot of explaining. You know, while they were doing this, all this has been going on behind the scene. But I'm like, it's okay because cigarette smoking man, he's cool. He's just in the corner. I liked the Krychek conspiracy episodes were some of my favorite because he was just a really good villain guy.
Yes, he was, but seriously, I have not ever watched X-Files from beginning to end, and that's, now
Do yeah.
streaming. I'm surprised I haven't because I was watching them back in the 90s, you know.
Mm.
Anyway, but we're not talking about X-Files tonight. We're going to get into Conspiracy Corner fully, and it comes with a wheel. You guys, I bet you didn't know that.
Sweet.
Oh, I
Spin
like
it.
wheels are awesome.
Yeah, so I've got a wheel of conspiracy here, and I don't see my normal chat telling me to spin the wheel, but I'm going to tell you how it works anyways. So this is the wheel of conspiracy. It will eventually be updated because some of these are getting a little stale and some of them are lame. But this is how the wheel works. With two people, I'm not sure exactly, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Basically, you get three spins. You
Ooh.
can stick with the first topic or the second topic, but if you decide to spin a third time,
You're
you're
stuck with
stuck
that
with
one.
that topic. But this is also why I love having creative people on the show. Even if you don't know anything about that conspiracy, you can totally make up stories.
Nice.
All right. So I'm thinking maybe you guys have to agree to stay on a topic.
Okay.
And if it
Agree
gets
on a
out of
topic.
control, I'll moderate it.
Whatever you think, Piper. I've been down every rabbit hole in the universe.
I've been down a lot.
Nice. Okay, now it sounds like a competition. All right, you guys, are you guys ready to spin the wheel?
Well, I can't say every. Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Wheel of conspiracy. Turn, where it lands.
Oh, Neuralink.
We were
All
so close to
right.
cryptids. I was so hyped for a second.
You can try for cryptids. Sometimes it does.
I don't mind talking about Neuralink. I have opinions.
Yeah, no, Neuralink is fascinating. I mean, on the one hand, you can, take paraplegic people and possibly cure them. I mean, that's the sales pitch. But then, a society of automatons, people you could just shut off because they're being problematic. Or,
The
if
ads.
if Elon makes a deal with Microsoft, you're going about your day grocery shopping, you have a 404 error, invalid page fault, your heart
Green,
just
blue
blows up.
screens. Oh no.
Jeez. Okay, do you guys want to go deep in that or do you want to see what might pop up on another spin?
That's up to you, Eric.
I mean, this is a tame one.
This one is
Sure,
tame.
All right, I think we're deciding to spin again then.
Yeah, and the main thing I say about Neuralink is just wait till ads are directly freaking dropped in your brain.
Yes, never thought of that.
Yeah,
Marketing
that's
is
one
going
that's
to
one
be
of my main
annoying.
gripes is like, oh god, there's gonna be ads in your brain.
I just have one thing to add about Elon Musk. He is literally one bad day away from becoming Dr. Evil. Okay?
Right? I love
he
it for
may be-
him, actually. I love that for him, though, because he's like, dude, this is our cartoonish evil villain. Our evil genius
He's-
science billionaire science villain.
He's an autist. Okay, he's an autist. He's the #1 DARPA contractor in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He digs
Oh,
tunnels for the elitists, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get deeper into the Neuralink stuff because we're going to spin the wheel. So let's carry on.
all right, let's do it.
It keeps almost landing on ones that I'm like, yes, and it keeps almost landing on them.
Oh,
Medical establishment versus natural remedies. I love this one though.
yeah. I mean, people were healing themselves,
Yeah,
and now it seems like people are sicker than ever, right?
absolutely.
I got plenty to say on this. We pick one and then we discuss it, or
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Do you guys want to stick with that?
yeah.
It's a pretty good one. I don't think we've
We'll see
ever
what.
talked about that one.
Oh yeah, I'll stick on that one. Yeah, because I haven't. It's not come up in conversation with me very often, so I haven't gotten to chat about it, even though I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Ancient Chinese medicine works.
Except rhino horn. That's
Haven't tried that one. It's part of the reason why I'm carnivore. I'm never going to the doctor again. You know, I'm definitely unjabbed. Ain't nothing getting stuck here. So,
I
same
believe we
punk
call that
autosave.
pure
That's what I was
blood.
hoping for.
yeah, pure blood. I definitely think the medical establishment, you know, they work hand in hand with food, big ag, to make us fat, sick, nearly dead, so they can just farm us for every dollar possible. And then when we're no longer useful to society, there's a suicide booth around the corner.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can get a fast pass in Canada. Sheesh.
And again, Nikola Tesla said if you want to understand the order of the universe, everything is sound and frequency, which is absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Then you could talk about how our pineal glands have been calcified by the fluoride in the water, so we're no longer in tune with the spiritual world that we actually live in. We could probably be so much more than this. Like we've kind of been reduced to a broken base model. You know, we'd probably have more abilities, be able to think through, problem solve, have much more advanced technology now because we'd have the full use of our brains if our pineal glands weren't calcified.
I know that the average human IQ across the planet was way higher than it is now, but that was primarily due to deciding to put lead in fuel.
Lead, and then also the fluoride one. Fluoride
Yep,
lowers
and the
IQ.
fluoride.
Well, they put lead
Fluoride actually is
in
a
paint, too.
toxic waste left over from creating things like aluminum, and the big manufacturer of that were just dumping it into the river, and then somehow they conned the government into saying, "Oh, this is good for your teeth," so they just started selling it to the government to put in the water supply.
The biggest thing is there wouldn't, if there's not sick people, there's not a big pharma. So
Yeah.
they're never going to invest in cures because then they've lost a customer. And that's just like, it should be a duh when you think about it and you think business wise. It should be like, you know how like back in the day stuff was built to last and now stuff breaks easy, especially technology. Same reason. Well, they're not going to come back if their stuff lasts forever.
Right.
But it's the same. They're not going to. They're supposed to be sitting on like a lot of patents actually for better medicine and better cures for stuff.
Ones
There's a
that
lot of things
actually
taken
work.
off the
Yeah,
yeah.
stuff
There's
that
a lot of
actually
things that have been
works.
taken off the market. Like there's healing properties to marijuana. That's why it was off the market for such a long time because you know you got Rockefeller who wants to sell petroleum-based medicines instead. So a lot of those natural remedies are not sold in the United States because of that.
The biggest thing they pushed that managed to successfully push is that natural remedies are quack medicine and
New
this and that.
agey.
Yeah, and then the FDA is with them going, yeah, we can't back up any of this other medicine. But the thing is that stuff that's been used and through trial and error proven to work for years and years and years. We would be wiped out if it didn't. Like, if we were just doing random stuff, we would die out as a species. But we got to this point.
Yeah, well, wasn't there some kind of push a while back? I have no idea exactly what it was, but I seem to remember that they were trying to make it so you'd have to have a prescription to get vitamins.
Wow.
This was maybe like
Yeah,
5, 10 years ago.
and
Yeah,
then
there was a bill that
yeah,
there
the
was
pharmaceutical companies wised up and they started buying all the supplement manufacturers.
Yep.
So you don't need to just like get out of big pharma and go to GNC. You need to look at your ingredients. You need to know where they're sourced from. Are they synthetics? If you really want to be on top of this stuff, you turn into crazy. But
You
it's good
start
because like as somebody who practices the carnivore diet, that's the reason why I'm on the carnivore diet. Is that
I say the
we've
closer you
eaten
get
meat for
to
thousands of years.
natural, the closer you get to natural and less is artificial, especially
Yeah,
chemicals in something. The
Mountain
better
Dew.
it should be for you. The downside would be if your body has already developed a dependency on some kind of chemicals that stopping would be a problem.
Yeah,
That
it's a
that can
drug.
happen. Punk Waddle says our medicines had to be based on some sort of anecdotal or proven methods. And the thing is, they've developed stuff that's enough to treat symptoms. So that's what we get is symptom treatment. And a
Yep.
lot of times these symptoms are caused by something else that they did in the first place. Um,
Whether
sometimes
it be poison air, poison water, poison
Yeah,
food,
sometimes it's another medicine. I know at one
right?
point I was on a medicine and then I had to take two other medicines to combat the side effects of the first medicine just so I could take the first medicine. And that's usually me too when I take antibiotics. That's if I can keep them down. I'm usually
yeah.
on multiple medicines to counteract my reaction to antibiotics because I don't know.
My
My body ain't having it. They don't like it.
my
It don't
my
like it rather.
father is going through a very serious cancer battle, and he was getting all of his treatment through the VA, and it was just pill after pill after pill after pill, and he's been on hospice now for a good 3 weeks, I think, not eating much. So he's going into fasting. He's actually reversed his diabetes. He's no longer diabetic.
See, I knew.
Because he's fasting, like kind of
Yeah,
forced
because
fasting.
he doesn't want to eat, so he's not eating. So his body's going to into autophagy. So your cellular structure can't heal itself while you're digesting food, because those are two energy intensive things that you need a lot of energy to do. So that's one of the reasons why the 3 meals a day was always advocated. Why we have the bullshit food pyramid that was making us
Right.
fat with all the grains and stuff. And that's to keep your body in this constant state of digestion so you never heal for anything. That makes you more probable to getting a cold, getting a flu, needing some Benadryl, needing the blah, 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 just in this constant sick state. Everybody that goes carnivore ends up doing intermittent fasting and then 72-hour fasts to, I know some people in my group that will fast for a week or so, and they're shredded, 60, 70 years old, muscular, act like they're in their 20s. And, you'll get doctors and med coats that say this is bad for your heart and you're going to die from eating all this meat because they got bad science that's all they were taught. No doctor in medical school ever studies nutrition. It's not required.
I know. I mean, is it even possible to get referred to a nutritionist from a primary care physician anymore? Is that
Only
even
if
a
he really,
thing?
only if he really cares about you. Like I had the greatest doctor in the world for the longest time because I have scleroderma. I've got this autoimmune disease, and that's part of the reason on my journey is I experiment on my own body with natural remedies to see if anything will help these hands move again. Um, And he was the type of doctor who said, I don't want you addicted to Vicodin. You don't want to be addicted to Vicodin. I'd rather you be on marijuana. And he, at the time, Michigan had to have a doctor's authorization because wasn't fully legal yet. And he signed that for me. And that just like proved to me that he actually cared about what my body is doing with what's going on, the results I'm having, rather than what he was taught. There's
You
very
know,
few of them out there like that.
well, that's what I was just going to say. Isn't it sad that it is very difficult to find a doctor that actually cares and actually
Well,
knows
yeah.
shit even? Like, it
I
seems
mean,
like all they know is to prescribe pharmaceuticals.
That is pretty
yeah,
much,
you can get better.
and that's
You
kind
get
of
a better
college
drug
level. They're
dealer in
pretty
the
much being
alleyway.
taught that too.
Yeah.
So another thing is like they also have a financial incentive. It's so expensive to go to medical school. You get your pediatrician harassing you to inject your baby with the vaccine schedule. They get paid like $35 a shot for that. So
Now,
yeah,
see, that should be illegal.
they're gonna pay
How
those
much
beach
money they
house
get off a
payments.
lot of this stuff doesn't even make any sense to me. But
No.
So I just have to ask you guys: do you have any faith in RFK Jr.?
As a person, I think so. But the bureaucracy is the bureaucracy. You know, it's two wings of the same bird. They all need to be catapulted into the sea or hung from a gallows, as far as I'm concerned.
I'd also
Bad
get
at
catapulted into the sun.
based.
I agree.
I honestly don't think he knows enough about the field. But I feel like if you put anybody in that position, they're still gonna get like, they're still gonna have to go through the same thing and get rolled the same. Like, put us in there with the knowledge we have with the same goal, and we're gonna have to go through the same thing. So I don't think it's as
That's all.
much of like his background or his knowledge in that field as much as it's anybody in these spaces is fighting against like centuries of bullcrap.
Yeah, and everything is just like the comment was. Everything is money. Everything is money. All wars are bankers' wars. I mean,
Yeah. It is. Yeah, and we can get in, and this is what also often happens on Conspiracy Corner, and why I feel like maybe eventually, maybe once a month we should just do a Conspiracy Corner like panel show, because
Like the whole
it
show
seems
dedicated.
I
Yeah.
see, that's the thing. I've never met you guys before, but it just kind of seems like everybody's a fucking conspiracy theorist these days,
If you
because we're
notice
all
though that
reasonable people.
I was gonna say, if you notice though that conspiracy theorists today aren't doing like the stuff that's really, really out there. The stuff being labeled conspiracy theories are very reasonable things that everybody can see being done right in front of their face.
Well, I mean, that's why the wheel's so huge. It's
Right?
all like a lot of comments. I mean, there's some more woo-woo stuff in there, but a lot of it is
I do
just,
love the weird stuff. I
well,
love
who
the
doesn't?
weird stuff, but I think it's
I'm at a
interesting.
place. I'm at a place in my life where I tend to just believe everything on face value now that the mainstream is pushing against. So if somebody's denying it on CNN, okay, it's probably true.
Yeah, it probably
Then
happens.
let,
Yeah. And
That
and
is
let
that's
me
the
that
do
is
my
the
thing.
litmus
homework.
test. Yep.
Is in my entire life, the past 10 years, all of the conspiracies that I've heard being proven right like a year or two later. Like, oh, everybody that was told they were crazy, yeah, that is exactly what was going on. And you
Yeah,
have, yeah, no crap, because it was going on right in front of our face. They weren't even trying to hide it. At least before, our ideas were a little bit wilder because we thought they were better at hiding things.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's the thing too. Like, I think ever since like COVID, it seems like the time between being a conspiracy theory to being true has just been like shortened and shortened. Like,
Yeah.
now it's like 2
yeah,
weeks.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like with COVID, at some point, the some in the government they were like, dude, we don't even have to like do this behind closed doors. We can tell these people we're doing it
Yes.
to them, and they'll still believe it when we say psych. Like
I
when we
you
say
know
just kidding.
that it's funny because I have kind of that same thought process, but I think is actually even more to show us that see, which is a larger and larger growing number of people, that they indeed do have their boots on our fucking neck and there's nothing you
I
can
was
do,
gonna
nanny
say,
nanny.
I feel a
You
lot of it
know?
is what you gonna do about it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah, we do this. What you gonna
Yep.
do? We're just gonna, call you crazy and call it a day.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be a time in which we can finally get these murdering, freaking, pedophile, blood drinking assholes out of power
The
because
problem is you
Yeah.
need more people. We need
I don't even know if we do. I think we just need to activate. I'm
like
not calling for a
more
civil war,
people or more
anybody.
people to actually organize and decide, yes, we are doing something about it right now.
Right, but
Well,
that's
Instead
the
of
thing. They've been very successful in breaking us up in all over the internet over and over. Like if you think of all the YouTube bans and things like that, like the major gathering
yeah.
places,
yeah,
you
and
know.
any time a voice of reason starts to get an audience, it can't yeah,
Mm,
we can't let them
Yeah, and then
it just
look what happened with Dan Bongino and Cash Patel. They built up their lives defending the truth, saying we want to get to the bottom of the Epstein. Now suddenly they look like they're held hostage. Oh yeah, he absolutely killed himself. Please believe me.
right. That's so because
We
that's the
have
thing. Like,
video coming
my
as soon as
favorite my favorite
VO3
ones have
releases
been
it.
the he killed himself by shooting himself twice in the back of the head. Like, yeah,
Right?
okay,
Yeah.
that definitely tracks.
What
And then
about the
he and
guy?
then he threw himself in a dumpster. Okay. After the
What
fact.
about what about the guy who hung himself and then shot himself in the head?
Yeah.
it's in our faces. We know it's in our
Yeah.
faces,
They
and
know
yeah.
it's in our faces and they're just like, you can't do nothing. So
Yeah.
that's where we
Anyway,
are right now.
you guys, okay, this is always pretty much how conspiracy corner always turns. Like it gets very negative and weird. And I'm so happy to like have people to talk um about this stuff with, but I like to turn it a little positive and funny again. And that brings us into our last segment. This is where you get branded, but not in a weird sex cult kind of way. It's just the Flip City branding, and it comes it does come with the benefit of being invited back to like party streams and panels, and like I had mentioned,
Oh, I
maybe we
would
should do
definitely
more.
come back to a conspiracy night.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you
Okay,
just do a
yay.
dedicated, I am so there.
I think I'm going to make some kind of plan and brand it and all that kind of stuff because everybody's a freaking conspiracy theorist. I just need to learn how to make my panel shows a little less chaotic. If anybody happened to hang out during my launch stream a couple of weeks ago, it was an experiment in having a lot of people on, and it was very chaotic. So, anyway.
Herding cats.
Anyway, we're gonna get you guys Flip City branded, and I am super bummed that we were not able to get Pixel to come on because I did choose a kind of longer piece. It has a few voices, but it is Flip City premium content. It is a parody that we did, and Piper, I was happy to hear that you're kind of a horror fan, so I'm sure you know a little bit at least about Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we did a parody. We did a parody. It's called The Woking Dead Feral Dixon. Do you remember when Daryl went to France for some reason? They made that show. It
I
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
around for that. I
You
did
don't
not
have
Yeah,
see
I
it.
to.
don't, I
Well,
don't watch TV.
it's one of
Yeah.
the spin-offs. It's one of the spin-offs, but you
Okay.
know, so basically, Daryl, they put him in France for whatever reason. We didn't even finish the series, but we did a parody on it, and it is called The Woking Dead Feral Dixon. And cause if you can just bring up the first slide, I'm gonna kind of assign roles here. All right. And Batman, you're still with us, right? Okay, cool. I
Yep.
see you there, sir. Normally, I put together an image thing with a cast of characters, but this one's rather simple because Feral takes the show. And I'm not going to say that that the man needs to take the man part. You're more than welcome, Piper, to take the feral role if you want, but you guys can battle it out.
Well, I want
Well,
to know what the other roles are.
yeah,
Oh,
what's the other choices?
well, so basically it goes like this. Feral's the main role. Let's just do this. I'll be the narrator. Eric, you take the Feral Dixon role. Bruce, if you can take all the French, time a French person comes up, you're
Oui,
doing
oui.
that.
Oui,
And
oui,
then
mademoiselle.
Piper, you're gonna take the girls. I don't think you have much until the end.
Oh,
But
okay.
it is a couple different voices.
Oh, okay.
And if there's anything that I missed, I'll just fill in. All right. So here we go. We're doing the Walking Dead Feral
Channel your inner
Dixon.
Daryl.
Oh, can you see it, by the way? Make your screen big if you can't.
Yeah, let me zoom. Let me come in closer. Okay. Oof. All right, you still hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So here I am in Paris, France. I have no idea why I'm in France. Why I should be doing this. Why, to be honest, I didn't even read the script. That's just what a rebel I am, I guess. I have learned that when life hands you an opportunity, don't piss it away. Just take the paycheck, ride it all the way to the end. Anyways, I had to leave Georgia as a protest against their oppressive transgender bathroom laws. I had a hard time getting my crossbow through customs. I must have filed 1,000 forms. Here I am in the City of Lights, high fashion cinema, the arts, street memes, all my guilty pleasures. Man, what the hell happened to Paris? Oh yeah, Zumba invasion.
Le mire de vente di mindrier.
And there it is, the Eiffel Tower. Whole lot of fuss over a giant erector set. Hey, my wallet! Hey, my man purse! Just like back home, everybody wants to take a bite out of Feral Dixon. The champs, Ulysses, every serious touring biker's dream come true. Surely I got time for a petite four and espresso.
Insala.
What the hell's this? A Zumber bomber?
Allahu Akbar!
All right, things just got real.
Le boom.
Somebody's got to man up and put a stop to this.
Monsieur, zeal is a volte palte. Don't punish our miserable like you crude Americans. Les immigrants are Frenchmen too.
Appeasement never works. Just ask you. The more you feed them, the more will come, just like pigeons. Uh-oh, Euro zombers everywhere. Must be a million of them.
Blah, blah, blah.
How come I didn't hear about this on the news? No putting on dairy creamer in my espresso. I specifically asked for no cream, no sugar. Why is it employees today have such a hard time following directions? Some hospitality place this gets me 1 star on Yelp from me.
Blah, bleh, bleh, bleh.
Barricade the doors. Get your rifles ready. Your city is being overrun by hordes of Zoomers. Frenchies, you need to form a line of resistance.
Hun, hun, hun. Hun, hun, hun.
Les splat.
What a bunch of pussies. It's like they enjoy losing. I guess if you want to get something done, you gotta do it yourself.
Le crunch. Le tinkle.
Eat titanium, freak.
Come with me, monsieur.
You're arresting me for taking out the Euro trash? This was self-defense, man.
No, we are arresting you for making skid marks with your motorcycles on this Pride crosswalk. This is a hate offense, punishable by 5 years in la prison.
You frogs will have to catch me first. I gotta get out of this crazy house. If I can just shake le fuzz. Now to find a place where I can get some peace and quiet. This'll do. So, sometimes it feels like I'm the last straight man on earth. I should have just gone to the discotheque.
Soon, the French police catch up to Farrell.
Wow, how'd you find me so fast?
We just followed the trail of alienation. You have the right to remain silent. Everything you say will be used against you in a court of law.
It's like this terrible franchise. I mean, nightmare's never gonna end.
Farrell receives a special visit in prison. Hey, Piper,
Yeah.
can do a German accent on this. It's the fat guy in the next panel.
So the dude,
Yeah, the words here. Yeah.
Mr. D. I'm trying to think. I can't even say this person's name.
Slecknick.
I am Officer Schneckman from the United Nations Security Council. That's not quite German, but
That's fine.
it's a dude. Oh God. Be German, go. You have
You-
been very naughty, Mr. Dixon. Maybe a little Russian, but you are useful as you have a lot of clout with geeks and nerds. The women want to be with you, the men want to be you. Some kind of TV tough guy, macho man.
Suck it, Klaus.
We can help each other. Let us work together, no? We can make this easy for you, or we can make it painful.
Russian works, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, he's kind of Russianish. He's been around. You may have it your way. Much like in BK Burger restaurant slogan.
Tonight on an all-new episode of The Bachelor European Union Edition.
If he doesn't pick me tonight, I swear to God, I'll torch this bloody TV studio.
3 hours later.
Is that a chick?
Yeah.
Good work. We've broken him.
Wow, that didn't take long.
Introducing the new Feral Dixon. It's fully domesticated and housebroken to boot.
That next week on BBC Three.
Oh God.
Ingrid, much like the speed on my Honda CB750 Nighthawk, my love has no limits. Please accept this rose.
Welcome back to The Bachelor EU, where 50 Euro slugs compete for a date with destiny. Tonight, we'll find out who our eligible super stud Feral Dixon gives his last rose to. And that was his punishment, everybody.
Oh.
Meanwhile, back in the state of Georgia,
Well, that's it. They finally got you.
Why is he talking with a British accent?
he's even smiling. And so, our hero, Feral Dixon, must face a fate worse than death reality show notoriety. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. We got applause at least from our sound effect file.
It was a lot of fun. That's definitely the first time I've
That
done
was
anything like that.
fun.
Good. Well, that's another thing that I'm thinking of doing occasionally is having other people on to read their content. It's a good promotional thing to do. So for anybody that's out there still watching, and you guys, I see on my little handy view watcher, we've got 69 people watching. If you don't know what Flip City Magazine is, and you did get a laugh out of that Feral Dixon parody, you can find us live on Fund My Comic right now. You go to fundmycomic.com/FlipCity25. Normally, I don't promote before you guys. And Piper, I saw your beautiful German Shepherd. I'm thinking that is.
Yeah, somebody, I think it was Pops requested Lobo earlier. So usually I do have the camera tilted to where he can come be on camera too. But
He's
yeah, his name is
beautiful.
Lobo.
I love Lobo. German Shepherd is my breed. I love them.
He's my first one, but he is a German Shepherd wolf mix. Very low percentage wolf, but
So he's a wolf dog.
yeah.
Does he howl?
Sometimes. He's stubborn about it. He actually used to not howl until I left in an ambulance, and now he howls with the ambulance like the other dogs do.
Oh.
But his is way different from theirs.
Like a pain howl?
Like, yeah, no, his is like way louder and deeper. Like, it doesn't look like he's huge. He's the vet described him as a wolf-sized German Shepherd is what he looks like.
Okay. Well, he sure is a pretty guy. Well, we're wrapping up the show tonight, you guys. So we're gonna go around the table because I know you guys are working on other things besides the AR-13L, the Little Mercmaid. I am going to drop that link. So you guys, the reason we are here, we are promoting that campaign right now. But why don't we start with Eric and then Piper? What do you want people to do for you, sir, besides back that campaign?
Well, if you like pirate adventure, sailing the high seas, maybe a little bit of historical fun and artifact finding, check out daughtersrevenge.com and sign up for that mailing list. This is a new book by Ross X-Wing and Jay Drunk3PO from Geeks and Gamers. They also have a channel on YouTube called History of Pirates. This is a passion project for them. We have a beautiful story involving revenge. It's called Daughter's Revenge. So you go to daughtersrevenge.com, throw your email in there, you get all the email updates and whatnot. 120-page graphic novel. I'm about 25 pages into drawing it. It'll be colored by Big Boy Robo, the same colorist for The Little Mercmaid, and lettered by Pixel Trader, the letterer and editor for Mercmaid as well. So Do that. Vindicta.
It's okay. I just said something rude. So,
That's
Didn't
the
do
right. That's the
anything.
right.
It just went
That's
dead
the
for
right
a little bit.
page.
That's the right page.
all right. What about you, Piper?
Fight crab. Um Sounds like I have Tourette's or something. It's your turn, Piper. Fight crab.
It's something they make a pill for now to
Yeah,
clear up.
fight crabs, guys. um so well, I do have some various books in the works. I honestly suggest following Piper's Adventure on Twitter, X, Zitter, Twatter, whatever you want to call it.
Twix.
Personally, Twix, like
Twix.
that one. Um, uh, that's the easiest way to keep up with what I'm doing until I fix my website, until I have time to fix my website. But if you do like video games and video gamers or anime, I suggest following F Giggity, um, which is a VTuber that I totally am just friends with only. Yeah. Lately she has gotten into Fight Crab, and so have I, conveniently. What a coincidence.
Wink.
Spell the giggity Giggidy. Yeah, so my original account, or her original account, I mean, got hacked. It used to be Fizz Giggity, now it's F Giggity because F her, I guess. Thanks, Twitter. Uh, but she streams on Twitch, and she is now promoting Mercmaid because she's definitely a huge fan of my writing. Yeah, long time. But yeah, I just F in the chat. Yeah, I just suggest following those two because right now that's the easiest way to keep up with what I'm doing until I fix my site and just have all the links to everything I work on. Right now, that's the easiest two ways to find out what I and other characters that live here are doing.
And you guys, for the first time ever, and I'm going to do this in the future, is when I have guests on, I do put their X handles down in the description below. So your guys' handles are in there. So if you're watching this on a replay and don't want to listen to Piper and all the people that she has going on in her head, just go and check out the links below. There's links to everything, the way to back Mercmaid, checking out Flip City, which I highly recommend that you do, and all of our X handles, including our wonderful producer, whom I love very, very much. We don't see him very often, but he's the one that keeps the show running. In fact, even telling the chat over on pill.net that oops, the stream ended over there for some reason, and he was keeping those people updated over there, along with keeping the stream just rolling wonderfully without me having to fumble around with buttons. And of course, our wonderful Bruce Q. Wayne. But Bruce, where can people find you? What are you doing?
So you can follow the mustache on Three Beermen every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Big Apple time, 4 o'clock Avocado time, where we talk about pop culture, technology, and beer from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Sunday night.
And you
Me and
did get a
Catholic Grandpa.
you did get a question from Punk Waddle here.
Yes.
I love it.
I got this as a gift, and then I dropped the original one and broke it. So I found a replacement on eBay for it. It's great.
It is so cute.
It's so
Love
well.
it.
It's almost as big as my mustache.
Almost. And luckily not made out of hair,
Correct.
because that would be disgusting.
That would
Well,
suck.
It would
Yeah.
be.
thank you
Be hard
guys.
to hold too.
That is very true. Unless it like had a ton of like product in it, then maybe it'd be okay. So thank you guys so much for being here and bringing over a lot of your audience to check out what Creative Chaos is. I hope everybody on panel and in the chat had a good time. I do try to make the stream entertaining. I hope you guys were you not entertained?
I know I
Okay,
had fun, so
Yeah.
cool, great. I'm
that's what's
glad.
important to me.
Well, I mean, really, that is, we're all self-serving here. Anyway, and for anybody that does not know what Flip City Magazine is, we are a comic satire magazine in the tradition of Mad and Cracked and National Lampoon. If you're going to expect the exact copy of Mad, that's not what you're going to get with Flip City because we are Flip City. We are not Mad, we're not Cracked, but we are a satire magazine in that tradition, but made for today's day and age. So you're going to find us, shitting on all the petty tyrants that we love to loathe. And we like to like leave our audience with things to laugh at. We get a little dark in, these conspiracy times. So we kind of take those topics, flip them on their head and make you laugh at them, hopefully. I'm glad that we talked briefly about suicide machines because we have written an article or reviews on suicide machines. You guys can even go back through the Creative Chaos archives and fast forward to the end to get a ton of live reads on things, and you'll find suicide machines in one of these Creative Chaoses. But enough about me. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. And Bruce, you have something to say.
I just have to ask Piper one question. Which gets fixed first, the website or the hair?
So probably the hair. The hair's probably easier. Yeah, definitely. See, that's another reason to follow me is just get updates on what has happened to my hair over time.
Very good, very good. Eric, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It
Thank
was a
you.
lot of
Love it.
fun. Love your work. I've been looking at the campaign myself, quite honestly, and as much as I would love to go for the crustacean crew pack, I don't know if I can financially afford it right now. But wild stuff. Love the work. Thank you very much for what you guys do. Loving it.
It's a great looking book, and it's obvious you guys have a lot of humor in there. And stuff like that. I'm excited to check it out. And it looks like we got, a couple people went and backed while we were live, but I think they were already following you guys anyway. I will not take credit for that. So you guys tune in next week, same time, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. avocado time. And this is where we wave or do heart hands. I like that too. We're going to do heart hands and I'm going to wave them.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.